What is happening, guys? Welcome to another FPLTIPZ stream. I've got a guest today for you, and we're going to be doing everything strikers. We're going to be talking about Chelsea and Abraham and his replacements and other replacements and cheap replacements, expensive replacements. And here with me is a Chelsea fan himself. It's FPLTIPZ. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, good, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing amazing. I can't wait to get Abraham out of my team. If it is indeed that we have to do that, because everyone has him, and I don't like having players that absolutely everyone in their nan has. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you think actually about Abraham. But first, before we get into all of that good shite, who are you? Just tell the people who are you, what you doing in the community, and basically, yeah, a little bit about yourself.
So for those of you who don't know me, I'm FPLTIPZ with a Z. I've been in the community for about 3 years now. I'm 21, so started it just as I joined uni. I do sort of daily answering questions. I mean, that's probably my main thing.
Mm-hmm.
I try to reply to every tweet that I get and things like that. Threads, I'm doing sort of daily threads at the moment on different topics that people want me to write about.
Mm-hmm.
As well as being on YouTube. So yeah.
Hold on. We're hearing no sound. You did all of that and there's no sound. Perfect. I
Take
love it.
two.
Take two. Oh, for fuck's sake! I hate when this happens. Right, hold on. This happened the other time. It's because it was a whole new thing. Right, can you guys hear him now?
Can you hear me? Can they hear you? Just not me.
I don't know. Oh no, I can hear myself.
Let me.
Heard it all fine. There's no sound for me. There's sound for me. Raw, it's just you. No, am I wrong?
I don't know if I can hear
Oh,
myself.
for fuck's sake. Both, you heard it all. Okay, so we're here. It's good now. Right, okay. Should we do it again? I don't know. Don't worry, there was sound before. Oh, now I've listened to like one person. Usually sound fucks up. This is great. I love this start. This is exactly what the stream's all about. Just absolute professionalism.
I just
Um
tried to hear myself on the stream and didn't realize that my stream was muted, so I couldn't hear myself.
That's
But
what I heard. I heard me through you, I think.
I
That's what
think
I
I
was
heard
doing.
me through. I heard you, and I thought the stream was working, but that's because I'm on Skype to you.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, let's just continue. So yeah, so I'm gonna show the folks at home all your lovely stuff. Hold on. Let's go through. So FPL tips. Like you said, you've been doing loads of just streaming and weekly Twitter live Q&A. So that's what you tend to do all the time, right? Is you just answer
Yeah.
questions, anything anyone comes. And how's that going? Because I find so many people asking me questions and I'm answering the same things over and over again. Do you tend to like miss stuff, or do you try to just like that's your niches? You just answer everything and everything.
Some of it I get repeated. I mean, a lot of people have sort of similar questions, but not exactly the same. And if I answer the same question twice, that's fair enough. I remember when I started, I to get a reply, to get a response from someone, just was always helpful. So even if it's the same reply, I do my best.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And today you released a thread.
Yeah, it was
I'm trying to
on. It
find
was
it.
captaincy.
Differentials.
Thursday is always captaincies.
Uh huh.
So yeah, that's the last of it. Differential. That was my differential captains. But if
Got
you
it.
keep scrolling down, yeah, it was on captaincies. So if you scroll up, there we go.
So Thursday captaincy threads, and you do this every Thursday, different thread every day,
So I
or
do Monday. Monday is game week review. Tuesday is like people's polls. So depending on what people want.
uh
So
huh.
this week it was Spurs.
Right,
Uh,
got it.
Wednesday,
Oh, I like that.
I can't remember. Wednesday's differentials or fixture changes.
Uh huh.
Thursday captaincy and Friday game week preview.
This is awesome, man. I really like this. I like the fact that you do the same thing, like
Yeah, so it's
each
kind of
week,
like yeah,
so people can expect it. That's really cool.
yeah.
So, what are your? Let's just get right into it then. So, obviously, if you don't follow Tips, please go and follow him because he does a lot of really good stuff. He's streaming, he's doing differentials, he's doing captaincies, he's doing loads and loads and loads of stuff. Way more than I do. Way more than I do. I sit here and I have a laugh and I drink alcohol like for an hour, and you're actually like putting in work. So yeah, please go follow FPL Tips if you haven't already. What'd you make of Abraham? Let's just start it right away. We all have Abraham in our team. We're all seeing this hip injury, 50% chance of playing. What do you make of it, man?
I think when it happened, I think I tweeted out and I said, just hold on him. If this isn't a bad injury, it's as I said to one of my friends at work, it's like if you fall over and injure yourself, you think it's really bad because you've just hit a knock and you think, God, this is so painful. But
Yeah.
that pain, if it's not serious, will go very quickly. And I think that is kind of what we're seeing with him. Of course, we've all got to wait and see what happens in the press conference tomorrow. And I know that's not a very helpful answer, but it's kind of what we have to do. I don't see him being out very long.
Okay, so when you say you don't see him being out for very long, obviously the issue is now that we're getting into the fixture congestion that like our week could be 3 game weeks.
Yeah, that is the issue. And this sort of injuries come at probably the worst possible time for managers. The fact that if it is a week, it could be 3 games that he misses. I mean, I personally don't expect him to miss all 3. So I'm quite hopeful that he'll be back for at least Everton in game week 60 and so next weekend. And if not before that, because if it's anything like we've seen with Mount's injuries and the Chelsea medical staff, then he'll be playing 90 minutes at the weekend. So
Right. Okay.
but yeah, I just think I think Hold. I think the injury is definitely not as bad as we thought. From his interview that we saw after the game, he sort of was laughing it off a little bit. So yeah, I'm holding him personally.
Yeah, and if anyone in the chat doesn't have him, I want to know because I feel like every single person that I've seen, any rate my teams, any can you tell me what to do's, any just general questions like Abraham's in everyone's team. So if you don't have him in the chat, like I want to know, that would actually be unheard of, unheard of. So like you said, he's probably going to be at maximum away until Everton. You would expect to see him back sooner. Are you tempted to, although you said you were going to be holding, are you tempted to get rid of him at all? Like, have you been eyeing anyone up that's really juicy?
I mean, we'll get into it, but the sort of one player that I look at, so in my team, this week I've brought in Vardy. Finally got him. It's taken me all this time.
Oofed.
Jimenez I've got in, and the only other one that I consider having is Danny Ings.
Right, okay. And
but
Danny Ings has been doing amazing, so it's no surprise.
And his fixtures are great, but I've used my 2 free transfers this week already, so I won't be selling Abraham for a hit this week. So he will either be playing or he'll be subbing off for someone on my bench.
Yep. And as the first person, Ben FPL in the chat, how's it going, buddy? Has said it's not worth losing 0.5 million on him, even if he doesn't play. So obviously, we're not going to be getting rid of him for long. As soon as he's back in, we'll probably want him back in.
Exactly.
For those who are getting rid of him, do you think like they just will leave him out of the team forever? Because we do have to like consider the fact that he's only scored once in quite a few game weeks, right? How does that compare with on the pitch as a Chelsea fan?
But he has about 2 goals and 2 assists in the last 4 game weeks, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't complain at that for what we bought him as a £7 million striker, a return on average every game week. I'm not complaining about that. He is our main man at Chelsea, absolutely on the pitch. He's always there. So I have absolutely no plans. If he's out short term, if he's out long term, and I think he'll be out long enough that I don't lose too much value on him, then that's when I might consider happening. But I don't see that happening. So he will be staying. It's not worth the losing of £500,000 in squad value.
Okay, so you're a Chelsea fan. If he was to be out for a couple of game weeks, who are you expecting to come in for him?
Batshuayi.
Definitely, like no Giroud at all in any capacity. But he's so good looking though.
Well, that's it. If it was on looks, then Giroud would start every week.
I think he would. He's one of the sexiest guys on the pitch, man. Whenever he plays, and also he's always doing these like amazing, like he'll do nothing, and then he'll do one little like flick, and you're like, oh, he's so good. But yeah, obviously he's doing it against like players who have been playing for 80 minutes, and he's just like fresh on, like, oh, I'm just gonna skin you all. Do you think Bats has what it takes to keep a spot if he was to come on? Because did you watch? Obviously, you're a Chelsea fan, so you
Yeah.
watched the game midweek. How did he play when Abraham went off?
Um, uh, Chelsea, we won't be the same with Batshuayi starting. I think it's simple to put it that way.
Right. Okay. So there's a
He
big
is,
blow.
yeah, he only seems to score big goals.
Hmm.
And this is something that Chelsea fans know him for. That if you play him each week, he won't score against the easy teams. Yeah, if you bring him on in the 70th minute in a Champions League semi-final needing a goal, you can bank on it being Batshuayi scores.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, he's not the type of player who's going to go and score 2 or 3 goals a weekend. So this, I think, actually the impact it has on the likes of Mount and Pulisic is quite big.
Right. Okay.
Because I think it means that what we need to see from them is a lot. And people worrying with Mount and having him in their teams and thinking that he's a rotation issue,
Hmm.
I have him and I personally am keeping and don't see that issue so much. But without Abraham, the attacking minded player playing in that central attacking midfield role will need to be someone like Mount, and someone like Kovacic won't be able to fulfill that attacking potential that we will need without
Right.
Abraham.
Okay, so if Abraham's out, it only kind of helps Mount because he's so
Yeah,
attacking. So
yeah,
if Abraham is out, then there's no reason to get rid of Mount.
no,
I really like that because a lot of people have been hoping to see something change with Mount, like because obviously
yeah,
he's been away and he's not been playing, and when he has been playing, he's not been as good. Now, obviously, people are kind of forgetting because he's been sitting there for so long that we did get him for like 6 million or 6.5 million or whenever you did bring him in. Like he was so cheap. So even maybe 2 out of 5 returns, like that's still really good for that price. If,
yeah,
if McGinn was getting 2 goals every 5 games,
yeah,
you'd be so happy. So that's what people are kind of forgetting, and I think it's because he's kind of risen in price so much. So it's nice to hear from an actual Chelsea fan that you think he's
yeah,
going to be coming back in good form. With Abraham potentially being out, obviously you want to hold him. I would love if he was injured for the long run. Now, obviously, that's obviously
thanks.
like with an asterisk of for FPL only. Like
Yeah,
I don't want him to
yeah,
hurt himself too much. And as a Chelsea fan, you want him to come back as soon as possible.
yeah.
But you're breaking rule number one of FPL is not to have a favorite team that is in the
Well,
Premier
exactly.
League. And you've
Yeah,
kind of started off that way. So you hope that he comes. But from an FPL point of view, like it would be so good for the template to just break. Like Sterling getting sold by everyone has kind of really
yeah,
differentiated the midfield a lot. I'm seeing a lot of new things I haven't seen. People are like bringing in people who they wouldn't be able to otherwise. The team template's changing a lot and kind of diversifying. So Abraham doing that as well would push that even more. So what I think we should do is we'll just go into the fixtures and just figure out like, okay, so Abraham might be injured. We might want the money for a midfielder or something. So what kind of cheaper options there are out there? What do you
yeah.
think?
Go for it.
All right, so I use this all the time. If you're new in the chat, if you're new to the stream, this is Tim Byer's awesome little fixture tracker thing, and I like it a lot more than most of them out there. Why didn't that link? That's weird. And so yeah, so I use it all the time. So if you, why is that not working? I don't know. If you use any other fixture tracker, this one's really good because it takes algorithms based on other things, so it's an unbiased one, and it bases it purely on the last history of the game as opposed to from the start, and it actually tracks the stuff and everything, so it's really good. Also, if you've just followed Charlie B39, thanks very much for following 13 minutes ago. You followed right when FPLTIPZ was telling us about himself, and I muted it halfway through, so I'm gonna play it for you, buddy. I appreciate that. This is for you. Thank you so much. I'll never get rid of that. Shortened link. Thanks very much, Tom. So Sheffield United right away. They're at the top for the next 6 game weeks. Really easy to shout. It's going to be Mousse, right? Or Mousse.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce people's
I don't
names,
know if
man.
it's the same for other people in stream, but can you zoom out on the fixture
Oh yeah,
tracker?
shit. Sorry. Let's just do. Let's do. So yeah, I'll just go into this mode. Bam. Easy peasy.
Arsenal 1-0 up as well, just before we get into this.
Oh, really? Who scored?
Aubameyang.
Heritage FPS. Welcome to Big Fat Sexy Team, my man. Thanks very much for coming on. It's probably one of your lot. You're bringing a lot of new viewers in.
Am I? I doubt it. None of them come and watch me, so.
Oh, no. I was watching you for a wee bit.
Oh,
Aubameyang scored, right?
yeah.
Finally.
Just quickly, so one of the sort of Chelsea insider accounts that I follow on Twitter has tweeted this evening 2 things. First, Hudson-Odoi could be back on the bench this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And the other, Tammy Abraham, is currently 50-50 chance to feature at West Ham this weekend.
Oh, so do you think he's going to be coming in for Pulisic then?
Hudson-Odoi, I don't think will start. He was not first choice. He might start, one of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
So many fixtures, and with us having to win in the Champions League next week as well. So I think Hudson-Odoi is a factor, and he will. But everyone's going to get rotated over this Christmas period. There's not much we can do about that.
Yeah, and I think it was who was it? Tom from who got the assist. Basically tweeted today saying if everyone's a rotation risk, no one's a rotation risk, so we don't have to really worry about it. But it is really good to know because he was
I just retweeted those tweets if you want to have a look at them. But
awesome. I see them. Is this an insider one? Bridge News.
Yeah, so it's one of the ones that I use quite a lot.
All right, okay. So I have a question because Charlie's asked a few times now. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Captaincy this week. Would you have done Abraham? Would you have been on at Chelsea? Are you what happens if you're a fan of a team? Do you captain them? What do you do?
I almost never captain a Chelsea asset.
Oh, really? Because of that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't trust in us enough, and I think there's always good enough options elsewhere.
Right, okay. So we've got Sterling from Charlie's asked, or Vardy. Who are you going to go for then? Hold on, I've got your team.
So for me, it's currently on Mane, but my captaincy thread, my number 1 option was Vardy. So it might then depend on whether Abraham's going to play, because for me, if Abraham doesn't play, then Harvey Barnes comes off the bench, and then that would be Harvey Barnes, Soyuncu, and Captain Vardy, which is a lot on Leicester. Right, so then I might end up putting the captaincy on Mane. But if Abraham's going to play and Barnes doesn't come off the bench, then it might go on Vardy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. So because there might be a bit too much eggs in one basket, you're kind of hesitant to do that. Yeah. If you didn't have Barnes, would you be doing it? I want to look at your team, buddy, but I think you sent me your Skype email just under it, so I don't want to click on it. That's the main reason why your thing isn't up. So yeah, actually, you could send me that again, or just send me loads of messages so that your email goes up, and then I can click on your thing.
I'll send it to you again, and then send.
Yeah. So to Mosa, how's it going, buddy? By the way, we haven't talked in a while, Tom. Vardy is set and forget for the next 2 weeks. No, maximize the fuck out of that ownership. Daffs, how's it going, man? I appreciate that. Sawsington. How's it going, buddy? Oh, wow. People are coming out. I haven't seen Saws in ages. Salah captain for me. Yeah, so like you said, Mane's tempting. But Salah, that's a differential in itself, right?
Yeah. So I had Salah until this game week, and I've sold him now to afford Vardy. Salah is notoriously better at home. So if I had Salah and Mane, and I knew they were both going to play, then I'd go with a Salah captain. But it's the fact that he does have this ongoing problem. He didn't look that great last night, so I just don't see him starting all of the next 3.
Yeah, so much fluid.
Yeah, so I wouldn't do it. He's enough of a differential now just to have him in your team. Yeah. So I don't think you need to put that armband on him.
So it'd kind of be risk averse if you captained Mane, if you had both of them, and if you only have one, then obviously you have to captain Salah if you're a Liverpool asset is what you're going for. Yeah. R.I.P. to everyone who captained Alexander-Arnold last game week. Big up Jesus.
Close.
Big up.
It was Jesus. It was on Trent for me for a little bit, but
was it?
I took it off.
I accidentally slept in. I don't know if you heard. And captained Captain Vardy. It was amazing. I'm gonna do that again this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, hold on. I'm reading chat. Get him out last week. Blah blah blah. I should have sold Salah last week, but kept him. What do people think of keeping him? If you've got him already, man, you might as well keep him. Who was it? Magnus Carlsen. We looked at his on the last stream. We looked at his wild card, and he sacrificed a lot in his team to bring Salah and Mane in. So if a genius who is 32nd in the world at FPL right now brought Salah in, then I don't think you should be getting rid of him. However, that's bad news for all Rashford owners because he fucking sent him packing. So yeah, anyway, so let's go through the teams just now. I'm going to go into stat mode. So they can't see your lovely face, unfortunately, buddy.
That's all right.
So yeah, Sheffield United we'll do the next 4 game weeks. Just because obviously if we're looking at assets, that if we want to bring Abraham back in, but we don't want to worry too much about it. So the next 4, we've got Southampton right there. So right away is the one that you were thinking of the most. I think Ben earlier in the chat said like you would almost hand pick his fixtures. He's got Watford home, Norwich home, Newcastle away, and West Ham at home. What do you think of that?
If four of the best fixtures that there are at the moment.
It is literally handpicked, isn't it?
Yeah, and the other thing is, it's those games are so important to Southampton and their survival hopes that they need to be picking up at least about 12 points from those 4 games.
Yeah.
And Ings is so important to Southampton, so it's even more burden on him to make sure that he's performing.
Okay, so that's something that actually a lot of FPL managers don't really pay attention to too much is the table. Now I know obviously as a fan of football and stuff, like people will look at it every now and again. But yeah, Southampton are like second last, just above Watford. So this is a really, really, really important game in the next game week. So right away they're probably both going to be fucking going for it, man.
All these 4 teams are teams around them that if they beat all 4 of them, it would have such a big difference on their season.
Yeah, I mean, catastrophic for Watford, but really, really, really good for Southampton. Let me have a look at the. Oh, by the way, thank you very much, Soviet Bow Bros, for following. I appreciate that, man. Abraham won't play. He said, yeah. So Tips is a Chelsea fan. If you haven't been here the whole entire time, and Tips thinks that he is going to play, it's one of those just really, really sore when it happens, but might not necessarily be too serious. However, obviously we will have to wait for the pressers. I don't expect anyone to be trying to get him out before we hear.
I think we'll hear tomorrow that I think what will happen tomorrow is Lampard will tell us that it's close, but I think what's also important to note that he's unlikely to play minutes off the bench. I think he'll either start or play no part in the game at all.
Really? So if he's benched, he's benched, and that's it.
If he's not fit enough to start, I don't think he'll be in the squad.
Well, what's the point? Unless you're losing, and they have a really easy fixture in West Ham.
Exactly.
Although I do know that West Ham has turned up in the past against you guys before, right?
Yeah, West Ham seem to turn up in London derbies most times, but it's a different Chelsea team now than it has been in a while, so I back up quite.
Hold on, Tom. I'm gonna look at this tweet you sent me. Chelsea, Tammy Abraham discloses he will have X-ray tomorrow, precautionary to rule out crack or fracture. Reports doing better and is expecting to be more of a hip pointer type injury, bruising on the top of a hip pelvis. I mean, that sounds like it's good news, but he's fucking bruised a bone. That's sore. That must be sore. So if this is true, I'd love to know how long that means he's out for. I know Dinnery's probably gonna let us know. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, no, let's continue. Thanks very much, by the way, Tom, for
sure. Lampard will tell us something tomorrow. So
Storm Legacy, thanks very much, man. Appreciate that. I hope you don't mind, by the way, with this follow noise on, because I miss it. I miss it when people are in, and I get the most follows when I've got guests, and I always turn it off. So you can't hear it. Okay, cool.
Stream.
The Storm Legacy. And signing Tammy, tempting to go full on mental. -28 transfer hit. Bought Tammy at 7.3. Tammy down is the catalyst for a better idea long term. I hope you're not being serious about a -28, but hitting Tammy out is a good idea. Right, first of all, like, look what you've done to Tips here. He's very excited about your 28.
No,
it's a typo. It must be a typo. It must be a typo. The Storm Legacy, you can't just jump into my fucking stream, mate.
That surely can't be. That would be 12
Is
transfers.
it just because of Abraham? What can you do so much with the money, mate? I can't. Hold
Oh
on,
wait,
let me
that
do that right.
that
Sorry,
would be
stop the
six
stream.
transfers. Sorry,
Stop
my
the
man.
stream. I'm doing this. I'm doing it
Six,
right.
but
One.
still, no,
Right.
no.
No, I'm doing
no.
it. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Right. Let's go into my
Uh,
watch list. Find out who I
six
want. Right.
transfers.
Muset. And that gives me enough to go with Robertson. And I've got
Oh,
enough money to upgrade El
yeah,
Neni.
we're all doing our really bad maths. I said that it's 12 and it's not. It's 7. Moses says it doesn't. 28 doesn't divide by 4.
So it doesn't even matter. Oh, right. Okay.
It does. It does divide by
Oh,
4.
it does. Oh, for fuck's
We're
sake.
we're all having a
8 transfers. I love it. We'll all do math on stream. There was one point when I was doing rate my teams, and it was at the start when like all the money was the exact same. So when I was asking people to send my teams, it didn't really matter if they didn't send the price because I knew them all. So I was able to like do the math on my little piece of paper down here, and I would always fuck it up and just never tell anyone. I'd be like, oh, yeah, you could absolutely afford him, go for it. And then it would email me, or not email, it would Twitter me being like, oh, by the way, I can't afford that. I was like, yeah, no, I know, I just suck at math on stream. But I'd always try and find them later on because I would put a big like in my thing, I'd put a big like C for check. Just make sure this is okay. Anyway, what are we doing? See, he fucking came in, ruined our whole thing. What were we talking about? Fucking Ings. Yes. So Ings is obviously Southampton's savior.
yeah,
The problem with Ings, we know and love him, but we also hate him because of his glass fucking shins.
yeah.
So this is his first big test. Now he has been. Let's go and find him actually, because that's something I should do. Ings has been fit for. Do you want to guess before I bring it up? How many fixtures has he been fit for this season?
Uh, I think he's only missed like one game.
He hasn't missed a single game. He's at least been subbed in every single game.
Well, I know this because I picked the FPL legend that is Che Adams in my game week 1
Oh
team.
yeah, I remember, and you were getting upset about him. We were talking about it on stream. I
Yeah.
do remember that. Cool. Happy coming to the stream, buddy. Appreciate that. Kit Kat shins. Yeah, no, I know. It's ridiculous. But he has been, I think, excuse me, people would be surprised to know that he has been in almost every single game. Scored 6 goals
Yeah.
throughout the season, which is probably about right for him, right? 6 million for that many games. He hasn't played very many minutes, so 821 is probably about, there we're doing math again. It's like 9 games, right? Just or 8 games.
Yeah.
So therefore, like he hasn't been playing 13 games. He's only played
No.
9, or at most 9.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very happy with that. 7 returns in 9 game weeks worth of minutes.
Yeah.
The obvious thing is though is that we're now coming into like 3 games in 1 week. So what do you think? Do you think he can sustain it?
I think in one respect he kind of has to.
Uh-huh.
I mean it's the same as playing your 2 normal game weeks with a midweek game. It is a bit much, but I think he'll do it, and then he can have a rest during the next week, play, and then go from there. I think he should be all right, especially for these 3, especially with who they're playing as well. I think they won't risk putting him on the bench with the state of their other strikers.
Okay. I've just realised as well that because they're playing Watford have quite a few injuries in the defence as well, don't they?
Kabasele, Dawson, and Jan.
Mint's away. Yeah.
All 3.
So is that, and they're all main starters, right? They all
Yeah.
play. So this could potentially be one of those Man City versus Norwich times when they have to completely redo their defense, and so it reinvigorates their team and just fucks Ings so hard. But I don't think that's going to happen because Watford aren't Norwich. Watford have been struggling for a while. So yeah, so that kind of I think that the Norwich thing with Man City was an absolute anomaly, and it's part of like a remainder in the matrix. So yeah, I think that the Ings is probably the single best choice for the next, like Ben said, Watford, Norwich, Newcastle, and West Ham. They're the fixtures you want right now. So we can just move on because I don't think there's anyone else that would take Ings' place right now. He's in form, right? There's nothing to say that
No.
that he'll be benched or anything, right? If
Uh,
he's fit, he plays.
yeah.
Okay, awesome. Ben said they have to play him next two, shit or bust. They will get relegated if they lose. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what you've been saying. These are must wins. And
Yeah.
usually when we look at the fixture tracker, we've got like an average of 70 to 80. So like you can see that here on the screen right now. Going into it, you've got like most of the teams are between 70 and 80 in that, and then the really hard ones 81, 84, 86 for Everton, right? And this is out of 100.
Yeah.
If you look at Southampton, it's 62. Like that's not just easy games for them. That is like the lowest I've ever seen it. So this is that we can't stress enough how fucking easy it's going to be for Southampton. Obviously they might not win because they'll concede a lot, but they'll be going for it. So I think that elevates them. But let's continue because Ings unfortunately is 6 million, right? Now,
Yeah.
although a lot of players are going to be considering to bring in Ings, the reason why they're going to be dropping Abraham is probably because they want to be able to afford someone else, right? So if you've decided like fuck it, I'm just going to get rid of him, it means I can afford X, Son, Mane, whatever upgrade you're looking for. They might not be able to actually afford Ings. So we should just keep going because Ings is the most expensive, I think, of the cheaper options, right? Can
Yeah.
you think of anyone else above him that would be a bit of an issue? I think it's just Ings, right?
Um,
And then everyone else we go for is like 5 million ish.
well, yeah, there's a couple of them which we'll get to who are slightly more, yeah, in the 6, 7 million price range. But yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll keep going then. So Sheffield United, my main man Mousset or Mousset. What do you
Yeah.
think of him? What do you reckon? Is he injured still? Is he back
Well,
in? I'm sure he's okay, right?
I don't know. Their press conference wasn't today. Again, I think they're tomorrow. So he's only yellow flagged, 75% chance of playing. So if he's probably the only one that I'd look at in that Sheffield United front line, just because the others seem to rotate around him and he keeps his place as they go forward. So I wouldn't be looking at the others, and I'd be looking at Mousset. He's looked really good. He's
Mm-hmm.
returned. He's got good fixtures. It's just whether he's fit enough to play this weekend.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. So we got to just wait for the fixture, the presser, which is fine. Wolves away. Do you rate Wolves' defense there?
I think they're much better than they were necessarily at the start of the season. They have been leaking goals. I don't think they've kept many clean sheets, but I feel like Sheffield United Wolves is low scoring. I don't think it's going to be one for our strikers to really go run wild.
Right. Okay. Hold on, I'm just getting it back.
That's all right.
So,
Um,
and obviously Musset is like the cheapest option. I think there's no one below him other than Connolly maybe, but because of
yeah,
Brighton's defense, fixtures, we could totally probably take them out of our
yeah,
analysis. They're
yeah.
not they're not doing too well. Where are they? Brighton. They've got Liverpool, Arsenal, Wolves, and Crystal Palace. You're not going to go anywhere near them
Some of
when
those teams down there have just awful
I know
fixtures.
everyone keeps saying Everton's shit, right? But
Yeah,
like, there's loads of them that have the
those
worst fixtures
Everton ones
ever.
though are so bad.
I know. And the only thing that's worse is that like Man City's not there, and it's
Yeah,
still horrible. Usually it's Man City that
yeah.
tips the favor, but yeah, Leicester have been given a purple. They were never purple before, and then just now they've moved up, which is great because they are something to fear. I
Yeah,
fucking hate
definitely.
playing Leicester right now.
Yeah.
So Sheffield United have one hard fixture, and then they pretty much have the same kind of fixtures as Southampton, right? Newcastle,
Yeah.
they play Norwich. The only difference is Aston Villa. Now, I actually rate Aston Villa a lot. Aston Villa don't make it easy for a team to play against. Anytime they've been playing a hard team, they haven't been like totally dominated. I think they lost 3-0, but it was a really, really weak couple of goals, and I think it was against Man City or Liverpool. And every other time it's been really close. So what do you think of Aston Villa as an easy fixture with these little guys? Easy
Yeah,
fixture.
I think I'd be inclined to agree with you. I think of all the teams around the bottom at the moment, they're probably the hardest to play. They seem well oiled in midfield. They look half decent going forward. They look strong at the back, and a team with Heaton and goal can't be too far wrong. So definitely, it is one of those fixtures that is has definitely has the potential to be trickier than it looks on paper.
Mm-hmm. No, that's exactly. I think everyone's kind of in in that same mindset, but we get lost in this stupid
Mhm.
2, 3, or 4 thing. So we just see a
Yeah,
sea of green and we're like, oh, that's awesome. But it
yeah.
is really important just to go through. So Aston Villa 17, I would expect Abraham to be back by then. So we might not even have to worry about that. I would say that Wolves away might be a better game than Aston Villa, potentially. Or at least it'll be closer.
Yeah,
Or more
I think.
free goal scoring,
Yeah,
rather.
I think there's not much in it between the pair of them, especially with them playing Villa at home. Yeah, it's probably quite even between the pair of them. Both fixtures could return points, so nothing too much in it.
Fair enough. I'm gonna read the chat a little bit. You have to play him next to. Yep. Tips. What's your overall rank? How you doing this year?
They might stop listening to me if I
Right. Okay.
if I
Moving on.
tell you
No,
that.
I am 1.5 million. They the same 10 have been here. Like it's about the tips.
I tell them my rank, and then suddenly it just comes up saying error, stream finished. No,
You
no,
can't
I'm
be
about
doing as bad as me, right?
no. I'm was at where you are about 4 game weeks ago,
Right.
and now I am 500k.
Wow. So that's really good. So you've dropped 1,000,004.
Yeah, without owning Vardy as well.
So you've actually been saved quite a lot of the time. That's really good. So you brought Vardy in. You're happy to be on in the party.
Yeah,
Um,
well, he'll blank this weekend for sure now, but just my luck.
so how many points are you on so far? I'm on like I don't know.
Uh,
I never look at my fucking points, and people ask me this all the time. 673 for me, buddy.
Let me just have a look.
So you'll be on more.
722.
722, and you're 1,000,000 more.
Yeah,
So that's 50 points. Oh, that's not bad. I could do that. I can do
yeah,
that. We're going.
definitely.
We're doing it slowly. Okay.
It's
Other
something
questions in
like
the chat. I've seen them.
I
Bright.
saw a stat that it's like the highest percentage of people in the top 100k have never been in the top 100k before.
They said that last year, but it was okay because I was there last year, and
Yeah.
no, I'm not.
But I just feel like this season, especially, those gains that we'll make in the second half of the season and those double game weeks are sort of more than ever.
Yeah,
That's what I tell myself anyway.
That's the Storm Legacy just realizing that he did a typo. For fuck's sake, man.
No typo.
Didn't look too good, that injury. Surely 3 games in a week too much. Ben, who were we talking about when you said that? I don't remember. Is Tammy officially out? Ings to rise tonight. He's not officially out. No, definitely not. We gotta wait for Ben, and then we gotta wait for the pressers. Those are the two most important. Oh, Mousse. Didn't look too good, that injury. Surely 3 games in a week too much for an injury like that, muscle injury. Yeah. So Mousse is probably. I think he would be the best choice. Before or after Ings, but unfortunately, if he's injured or we're not really sure what's happening
Yeah.
with him. But I think I would probably go him over Ings if I was to downgrade, just because it would give me more money, and I would want to use that money more, and I could probably get Mount to Son or something like that. I could really use the money, and that's what I was saying earlier. Like, people might not even go for Ings, even though he is the most outstanding choice right now, just simply
Mhm.
because you could save £1,000,000, get someone who
Yeah.
might do as well as him in a more like, easy to say this, like, Sheffield United are in a way better form than they are. I think they're still fifth. Are they fifth in the league still? Something like that. That's
Sixth, I
fucking
think,
awesome.
but yeah, or fifth.
Daft's left, and I answered his question. Then he came back and asked again. Right, okay. So let's move on then. We've done Mousse, and like you said, there's not really anyone around him that you'd want to get. Although there was a question over that. I know a lot of people have been saying, like, there's 6 strikers. Do we really want to go there? But we're confident that Mousse is he's too good of a player. He's in too much form, and he's been kind of weaned into the side already. We've been talking about this for
Yeah.
a few weeks now, right? That the minutes just correlate to someone who's been kind of
Mhm.
tiptoed into a 90-minute role.
Yeah.
All right, so next in the fixtures is Leicester. So we all have Vardy. We can't really
Yeah.
get him in, but this is a perfect opportunity for someone to get him in if they didn't have him already. Or is
Yeah.
it? What do you think? If you didn't have Vardy right now, and then you heard that Abraham was injured, would you have done that? Who
If I
did you
knew
take
that,
out for Vardy? Sorry, before you answer.
so I sold Salah and I sold Mason Greenwood.
Right, and you just did a straight upward swap.
Yeah, so I did. Greenwood was third on my bench, and I upgraded him to Vardy.
Right,
So
okay. So you
two
probably wouldn't have been able
transfers.
to afford. Oh, you would have well been able to afford Abraham to Vardy then. definitely.
I would have had to have sold Salah. Yeah,
So who did you get for Salah then? Sorry, I missed that.
Harvey Barnes,
So who would you have been able to get then if you did Abraham instead?
Son probably.
Is that who you'd have went for?
Yeah, but then it would have been because Harvey Barnes is currently on my bench. So he's my eighth attacker.
Oh,
Um,
I see. So
would
then
have
you would
then
have had
had
to
to
have
have
been.
benched Mason Mount probably.
Well, no, because you would still have Greenwood, right?
Oh, I still have Greenwood actually. Yeah,
Oh, so now you're raging. No, I'm
I
joking.
don't want to sell Abraham.
No, no, exactly. Like Abraham is just too.
Yeah,
If he's not injured at all, or if he's only gonna miss one game week, then I'm not. He's a million. He's the first player to get
yeah, I think
£1 million
so.
profit, right? And then
Yeah,
second is the Lord. So,
yeah, the Lord.
I hope that becomes a religion. That'd be fucking amazing. Right. So next with Leicester, we don't really need to talk about them. Crystal Palace, though, that's a really good one. How are
Yeah,
your thoughts on Benteke? You weren't expecting me to say that.
no,
No, I'm talking about it. Of course, it's IU.
yeah.
Nearly scored against Liverpool. Has been playing really well. What do you think, buddy?
So before I have to toot my own trumpet here, before the start of the season, I put out like five big differentials. One
Mm-hmm.
of them was Jordan Ayew, and everyone laughed at me saying Ayew he scored 2 goals last season, all season.
Mm-hmm.
He's an awful pick. He's not going to play. And I was like, he's played in preseason. He's scoring goals. They will need him to perform, but I didn't pick him, and no one picked him.
You
And now
picked
look,
Shea Adams instead.
oh yeah, for sure. What a good choice that
You
was.
know what I've noticed? Okay, so obviously, I mean that was a fair shout. Like, and he's doubled that tally of his goals last season already, and he's played loads more minutes, and he's kind of getting that form. Um, Oh, sorry, I knew I was needing to burp there, and it would have been awkward if I'd kept going my sentence. Apologies. So yeah, but 5.1 million. What I noticed is that see when he scores because Zaha hasn't been playing very well, and Crystal Palace haven't been very attacking in general. They've kind of lost their bite. Yeah, you're right. Like bonus all the time, anytime he scores. So there, if you guys can see that, I'll go into stat mode. A goal against Manchester United, 3 points. Aston Villa goal, 3 bonus points. A goal against West Ham, 3 bonus points. And then a goal against Arsenal in a 2-2, and he took 2 bonus points. And I think who took third was I think it was Abraham. No, not Abraham. Aubameyang that got like a goal and assist or something. So he just missed out on those 3 points. I'm not 100% sure. Someone's gonna have to check that and let me know how wrong I was. But yeah, so three bonus points most of the time when he scores. That I really like that.
Yeah,
I
he
really like
definitely
that.
seems to be. Sorry, I was just checking the scores as I have a bet on tonight. But
Oh, what's your bet? Tell me your bet. That's way more interesting.
um, so so I've done quite a lot recently, and I've actually been making quite a lot of money. So people in my group chat have been bored of me putting my winnings in. So I've got Arsenal, Eintracht Frankfurt over 2.5 goals, and that is now 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
So Arsenal conceded. Surprise, surprise. Celtic to win and over 1.5 goals. They're currently 2-0 up.
Yes.
Sevilla to win, they're 1-0 up, and then Sporting to win, and they are 3-0 up.
Wow.
So
So what do you need then?
I need another goal in the Arsenal game and Sevilla to hold on to a 1-0 lead.
Did you say 1.5 goals in the Celtic game?
Yeah, and it's 2-0.
Awesome. Oh wow, Lewis Morgan got a goal. I'm a Celtic fan. I live like 3
Yeah.
minutes away from the stadium, and when they score, I can hear it before the TV tells me they've scored. So I need to actually like close all my windows and like
Yeah.
put headphones on. That's a hell of a bet. How much did you put on that, and how much are you getting back?
I put £10 on and I'll get 40 back.
Oh, nice.
But
Oh wow. I wish I did that. I'm gonna fucking message you next time. I'm gonna ask you for tips.
yeah,
Funnily enough. Okay, so let me have a look. Am I the only one to never have Lundstrom? Probably Storm. Probably. No, wait. Who doesn't? Who did Andy? Who got hacked? He got hacked and he got
oh
hacked out
yeah,
of his team, and then now he
yeah,
doesn't have him, and he gets
yeah.
pissed off every time he does well. That shit's
But
funny, man.
Daff has just said, I'm benching Lundstrom. If he returns, don't make fun of me. Why? Don't do it.
But see, this is the
Don't.
thing I'm talking about. Like we talked about this last week, and we talked about it the week before. I'm so against downgrading a player to then upgrade 2 players. who both have to fight for the one place in your team. Do you know what I mean? Like upgrading
Yeah.
Greenwood, it means you have to kind of bench Barnes. Now Barnes isn't so expensive that that's a bit of an issue,
Yeah.
but people have got Son in and someone else for Sterling, and then now I have to bench Lundstrom. Lundstrom
A
is
lot of
one of the
people are
highest
making,
scoring defenders in the game.
yeah. A lot of people are making the choice this week. They've got Tomori, Soyuncu, and Lundstrom, and they can only play one or two of them, and it's just crazy. Like these players scoring consistent points, just don't. And the thing that scares me, the reason I'll never bench Lundstrom is his ownership. If he doesn't score points, he doesn't score points for 90% of the top, however many players. So it doesn't do you anything badly if he doesn't return. But if you bench him and he returns, you're so far behind already.
No, I totally agree. Just looking at, so I made my transfers. I brought in Sterling out and David Silva out, and I brought in Mane and Pulisic. But I could have done Robertson and Son and another like Traore or whatever, but I would have actually had to like bench one of Soyuncu or Lundstrom and just decided absolutely not. I'm not upgrading Cresswell to someone who I want to play all the time. It's gonna be like Kelly or Cahill or someone else, right? Because it's just I don't want to make the game hard. I don't want to bench fucking points. I hate it. It's one of my
Points.
hating.
About 3 weeks in a row.
I know. People do it. Also, Kepa is a wank. Lunny's a midfielder. He's going to have chance on goals, and Kepa's a wank. Yeah. Fair play.
No, he's not.
He's not a wank. I'll fight you to the death for this, by the way. The way he treated...
no, he's not saying he is a wank. He's saying he is wank.
Oh, he is wank. Oh, no, he's a good player.
That's not what he's saying.
No, I read it wrong. All right, okay. No, he's not a wank. He is a wanker, but he's also okay. Alright, he's no bad. He's better than me. I thought I was gonna be like, yes, he is a wank, and here's 3 good reasons. I was gonna go into something here, right? So where were we? Okay, Crystal Palace. So we've done that. Benteke's not taking Ayu's spot at any point in time. There's nothing really to worry about it. If you can't afford Ings and Mousse is injured, or you're worried about that injury, then would you say that Ayu's probably the best option?
Probably the best alternative if you're going below that 6 million price and Mousse is still injured, then yeah.
Right, okay. That's fair enough. Let's move on to the next best team with the best fixtures. And the reason why I said and then got made fun of by everyone in Fantasy Weekly was why I would pick Mount between 6 million and 7 million for a player is because their fixtures are so good. It's Chelsea, right? Mount is West Ham, Aston Villa, Bournemouth at home. Now, we know we just talked about Aston Villa being difficult, but I think they would be difficult for like high scoring games. And for an attacking point of view, like you want that, right? And I can't see Chelsea not scoring 3 goals in that game. So yeah, this is the reason why it's a bit harder just to sell Abraham as well. See if he had Everton's fixtures, I probably would fucking do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
But they actually have really, really, really good fixtures, especially their next one. Daffs, thanks for hosting with you, just you hosting me. Thank you so much. You do it every week. I love it, buddy. I love having you. Like, yes, I know you're here. Appreciate it, Mushroom Man. He wants me to tell him who I'm benching this week for him, but I'm not doing it. I'm ignoring you, Daffs. Sorry, yeah, Chelsea, West Ham, Aston Villa, Everton, and Bournemouth. Now, this fixture tracker says that Everton's difficult. What do you think?
I think it's wrong.
Me too. Me too.
So simple as that. I think it's very wrong. It should be probably the most green fixture on the whole thing.
Yeah, because obviously this takes into consideration they've been beaten by how many, and then lowers their score until it goes. But they haven't lost enough yet for this to kind of take that into consideration. It does take a while. Like they just made Leicester a purple fixture, so yeah, take with a pinch of salt that. But Everton, Ben said earlier actually, and I forgot to mention it, that everyone took out Dean because they were underperforming, and that at the end of last season, and then he went on a fucking massive tear. Like they just kept clean sheets all the time against really, really, really hard to beat teams. So I could see Chelsea having issues with it. What do you think from a very unbiased point of view?
I just don't. I mean, it depends. I don't see Everton now changing manager in between any of those games. If he's still in charge for 14, he'll be in charge for 15 and 16 as well, because there's just not enough time. So I think they'll still have the same manager. So I still think they'll be playing as poorly as they are now.
I like that analogy or analysis actually. So if they don't sell him, then or it's not sell him. If they don't sack him, then that means that we're probably going to be seeing the same shite tactics. And if that's the case, then that means they're playing Chelsea with those tactics.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that we should be? Oh shit! Frankfurt just scored, buddy.
Love it.
Congratulations.
Just
40 quid.
Just Sevilla to hold on for the last 20 minutes.
Wait, what's the score?
1-0.
Right.
But they have had 72% possession.
Oh wow! I didn't realize it was Sevilla that Chicharito went to. That's cool.
Oh yeah, it is.
Didn't realize that. Little fun fact for you. So, what are you going to spend your money on, by the way, if you do win? What are you getting? 40 quid. Where's that going towards?
I don't know. I'll probably end up putting it on the weekend and losing it all again.
What if I start a Patreon? Do you want to send me fucking money? Do you want me to do that? No, I'm joking. Yeah, I can't charge you. You've been on the stream.
No, but I have actually just signed up as a free member. I haven't actually had a Fantasy Football Scout membership before. Sign up an account, and I've been looking at their paid membership, and so it might end up going towards that.
Oh, that's cool. I actually got it recently. And I'm scared of it. Like, it's so good and it's so easy, and there's loads and loads and loads of things that you can do with it. So and I haven't fully had enough time. Like I know that streaming doesn't seem like it takes a lot of time, but like once I'm finished doing this, I can't be fucked looking at it like for the next day, and then by that time, like, I've neglected my girlfriend and I've got to hang out with her, and then and then I've got to watch, like, Star Wars has just brought out The Mandalorian, and I've missed all that. So I've got loads of things going on, lads. So I haven't actually had the time to go through it. But you can make your own fucking graphs. I really want to start getting into that.
Yeah, I know.
So maybe we could go on Skype elsewhere, and you could tell me how to use it. That'll be awesome. So we talked about Chelsea and bats and everything. I don't think that many people are going to be trying to sell Abraham unless it comes out saying, yeah, actually. So what would you do if it came out saying, like, right, he's going to be away until at least, game week 17? So that he's probably going to drop about 0.4 million, which to us we lose about 0.2 million.
If he's going to be out for that long until after Christmas, then let's say, then I'd sell him.
Oh really? Okay.
I can't have him on my team, especially with my rank. I feel like now is the time that I need to be making sure I'm making gains, and I can't have a 7.5 million player on my bench if I want to do that.
Okay. And would you consider bringing in Batshuayi?
No.
Not even a little bit. It would be Ings straight away.
I wouldn't go anywhere near Michy Batshuayi.
Oh, that's such a wee shame.
No, come on.
Oh, but he's trying his best.
I know he's trying his best, but Che Adams was trying his best.
Oh yeah, true. Do you hate him just because of that? Like, do you think he's a good player?
No.
He
missed so many good chances for me. I used to watch the highlights, and it would be, oh, Che Adams has a good chance. Oh, and then he misses it. So I've had enough of him. I never want to buy him again.
I feel like I think I had Bats in a Football Manager season, and I've just got a soft spot for him, and I can't remember what season it was or what game I was playing, or if it was when he was really young or what. I just can't remember. I just remember owning him and it's him scoring a lot. But it's one of those ones where I had like the perfect tactics and I was like a monster. Like, I've been playing that for like 20 years as Everton or whatever the fuck. And so I brought him in like as a fun thing, and he did well. And now I think he's a good player when he's obviously not. It's really difficult. So the message from Tips, guys, is if Abraham's injured, doesn't matter how good Chelsea's fixtures are, just leave Bats out of it. Just go somewhere else completely. Okay, so Liverpool. Okay, so now let's get into it, because I can't really think of any. We don't really need to go down every single fixture, right? Because we're getting to the point where it's going to be difficult. Jimenez, something we can talk about. Arsenal, Norwich, Man City. I think this is actually good. Yeah, let's just keep going with the order, actually. It's a nice order. It gives us the actual order of expensive players. That's good. Okay, let's just fucking keep going then. Liverpool, Firmino. Watch your fucking mouth on this one.
Am I going to insult you? I tell you, no one buy Firmino. Just
Yeah, but
don't
me and
do
him
it.
are having a little one-on-one
Yeah.
game of it's like a staring contest, right?
Don't let let Dave have it out with him. Don't go anywhere near him. Let the two of them fight it out.
How many points did he get last game week, mate?
I
Mate,
don't know. I
how many
don't know the
points?
answer.
Fucking 9 points is what he got. All
How
right.
many points has he had in the past 5 game weeks?
Who
Probably
cares? That doesn't matter.
nine
That was
plus
he was
two plus
cursed
two
back then.
plus
He was
two
cursed
plus
back
two.
then, obviously. Three
No.
bonus points, mate. How many did Shea Adams get? I'm
Uh,
take the piss. Right, okay. So I also agree. If you're gonna be spending 9 million, you could probably up that to 12 million, not
don't.
barely
Yeah.
easily, but yeah, no, I would rather two defenders, and it would be cheaper for you, right? So you could
Yeah.
just downgrade right along, and then go get Robbo or Trent
Yeah.
Alexander-Arnold or something. I totally agree. The reason why I'm not doing Firmino is because Sterling was a bigger fire than him this week, and David Silva than him, and second of all, like he scored, so I might as well just see how long I can
Yeah.
go for it. Mostly for the banter. Like I think
He
it's
goes.
funny.
He tends to be quite like a patchy player. So if he has scored, then I'd keep him if I have him.
Yeah.
If I had him, he goes through waves. So
I totally agree. And also, like, let's find out if this is a wave or not. Like, don't bring him in just because he did score. Although he is being kind of like tooted around as like a differential. But yeah, no. I think if I had
could
the
always
money,
work against the back three of Brighton. Sometimes helps Firmino because it means the left and right backs have to no the left and right centre backs have to push wide to go to Salah and Mane. So it means that Firmino may have more room in the middle. So it could actually work in his favour this weekend.
okay, I like that. If I can keep talking, that was nice. I enjoy that. Um, I think that if you had Abraham and you had enough money to go for Firmino, then I think I would probably just take Jimenez and hope for the best, and
Yeah.
use that money elsewhere.
Yeah.
I'm definitely into it. But
So
if not Jimenez, then
well,
Kane or something, right? Like,
just a note on Jimenez. So Jimenez a goal and 2 assists for Wolves tonight.
mm-hmm.
Taken off in the 70th minute, but most importantly, he got his however many yellow card in the competition, which means he's suspended for their next Europa League match in 2 weeks' time.
Okay, so he's actually going to have a wee bit of rest after these three
Yeah,
fixtures.
yeah,
That is actually really good. Just a rest, perfect timing for
yeah,
the Tottenham at home game. Now,
yeah.
do we think Tottenham are going to have their defense in order in 4 game weeks? How 4 game weeks is only 2 weeks, so how fast does Mourinho work? I don't
Um,
think it works that fast.
uh, I think the only way they could get their defences ordered if there was a transfer window between these 4 game weeks.
Fair enough. Okay.
um, so no, I think there will be maybe more defensively sound than they are now, but that's not saying very much. I still think there's room for Wolves to score against anyone. You sort of back Jimenez to score in any game, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
And General said this week on the pod that like
yeah,
you don't expect Wolves to like dominate, but they are going to score,
yeah.
and he is probably going to be involved. And I didn't note on the pod, but I had actually said that in the previous pod, so it's all good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You living
Um,
it on that, living it large on that pod, aren't you? Doing
me,
well.
I fucking love being on the pod because there's no pressure. I'm doing shit, and they're all proper managers, and I'm just the comic relief. And I sit there and I giggle because I think James is the best person I've ever had the pleasure of listening to on any pod, and I get to interact with him and noise him up and shit. It's just funny. I really like doing it.
Uh,
I think even if it was just me and James, I would still just fucking listen to him and then noise him up. I think it'd be hilarious.
Whereas if you ever need a guest, let me know.
I mean I would love to get. I don't think Dave thinks he's the comic relief. I fucking know I am because I'm a joke. I am a fucking joke compared to those guys. They are like fucking. They've been doing this for ages. They're doing it full time, and I'm fucking. And it's just James watched the stream one time and went, "Alright, let's get him," and that was it. Like that's all I had to do. I didn't have to audition or nothing. Which is really funny. Frankfurt scored, by the way. I don't know if that fucks your shit up.
No, that was the third goal. That was the goal I needed.
Oh yeah, sorry, we already did that. Okay, because I just got the notification because this app is a piece of shit. Okay, so Jimenez we've just talked about. Sheffield
Yeah.
United's a difficult game though. That is we all know that that's difficult, and it would
Yeah.
be really hard for me. I would see if I was like Jimenez is my number one target. I think what I would do is I would be like, I'll wait to see if Abraham plays this game because I don't want to bring in Jimenez next game week anyway, because I've got Lundstrom in that, and then next weekend if Abraham doesn't, or sorry, next game week if Abraham doesn't play, I'll just move him on and get Jimenez. But then you're kind of missing out. So like that's the thing. What Wolves' fixture run, their good fixture run, kind of ends soon, right? If I move this up to 10, I wonder where they go. Or am I
I
talking
agree,
shit?
but I think Wolves are one of those teams that the fixtures are a bit irrelevant to them.
Or do you think so? They're fixture proof.
Well, not so much. I think in a way that, Liverpool are fixture proof, but they will still score more goals against the bottom teams. I think in a way, Wolves have just as much chance of scoring against some of the top clubs as they do against the bottom teams because of the
How
amount
they
of
play.
how they play. So actually, it's more about form than fixtures for Wolves.
Yeah, and that is obviously history. History kind of proves that, right? 2 goals
Yeah,
against Man City, a goal
yeah,
against Liverpool.
yeah.
Sheffield United though is a different beast because I feel like if there are I can't say that Wolves wouldn't score against them, but I could see it being like a weird Doherty goal
Yeah.
and Jimenez not really being able to get through or get given enough space because that system is so polished.
Yeah.
But in saying that, like, yeah, I don't
It's
think
better
that
to have
he's
a it's better to have Jimenez playing though than Abraham not playing. So if you have a
yeah
free transfer, then you may as well do it before the game week. But
yeah
yeah, I agree. It's not the most ideal fixture, and
yeah
although it's green on that tracker, it's not.
uh-huh. I was going to show this just real quick. Sheffield United, like we're saying, is a bit of an iffy game, and we're not expecting fireworks. West Ham, we can obviously. Brighton away, if they've still got their kind of crisis going on in the defense, then yes, because they've really done a 180 from last year, haven't they? Because Brighton was that like we even went so far as to triple captain on them sometimes. It's like some of us,
Yeah.
to then be like the team that we kind of bring players in for. Not all the way, but like yeah, they've totally fucked it. And then they go Tottenham, which is not the hardest, but like they Tottenham have to get better because they can't really go any worse. And I was listening to, did you listen to the fireside chat with FPL, the guy who was talking about like it was just complete stats based.
No.
If you're into stats, man, it's a really really good podcast because they talked about Spurs and just how absolute dog shit their defense is, but like with proof. Like this is how many XYG they've got into the box and shots in the box and blah blah blah, and they just went through it. And the guy doesn't play FPL, so he's an actual stats person for a
Okay.
data analysis. I can't fucking remember. He'll tell you if you listen to it. But he was on point. He was just basically saying that Tottenham were bottom 5 for the last couple of months of last season and all of this season. They have been like bottom 5 for defense in general. And the only reason why they did okay last year was because they were overperforming in centre backs. So I think that any Tottenham game that's coming up is not difficult at all, and they will score.
Yeah.
And we've kind of seen that as well. Ben says Stats Bomb. That's who he works for. Stats Bomb. So yeah, I would check that out if you guys haven't. After that, they play Norwich, was good. So if you brought him in now, he has like 4 good fixtures. Sheffield United's in there. We could maybe save 5, probably not. And then Man City, Liverpool, which is dog shit. And then afterwards, who knows?
But Man City at home in game week 19, it's at home. City's defense just hasn't been watertight.
Yeah, no, that's true.
They scored twice against them last time.
Yeah,
There's no,
I
there's no,
reckon Man City are gonna make sure that
I,
doesn't happen.
I agree, but they just haven't been that great defensively recently. So yeah, they've got a few tricky runs there, but I reckon between that Man City and Liverpool game, Jimenez could get like one return, and one return between those 2 games is plenty, to be honest.
I actually think that like not only that, right, but if if Abraham is injured but is going to be coming back like game week 17-ish,
Well, exactly.
Jimenez is a really really good
Yeah,
player to get because you can just bring him right back in because he's pretty much the same price and you don't have to worry about it. If you're going to be downgrading Abraham and then upgrading someone else, that's 2 transfers to redo it, right?
yeah.
So he is like kind of perfect. If you're wanting Abraham back in, definitely, then Jimenez is probably a really good option.
Yeah.
Do you concur, Tips?
Yeah, agreed.
Perfect. Let's move on. Unless you want to talk about Pookie, do you want to explain to the chat? Hold on, I'll zoom in on your
No,
face. Are you wanting to explain in the chat, or do we just move on? What's your
we,
thoughts on Pookie?
they looked. I mean, they were playing Everton. Um, they looked better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think his fixtures aren't bad, and that's what makes it him tempting. But I think there are probably better options. I'd rather Danny Ings to Pookie.
Okay, cool. I
Yeah,
just I just remember you saying that it was like a differential option that you
yeah,
would maybe want to go to.
yeah,
But it's easy to say that when there's no viewers. No, I'm joking.
yeah.
I'm trying to
Well,
throw you in the bus.
yeah,
No, but I totally agree. Like Arsenal are a fucking shambles in defense right now. And David Luiz is injured now, and you know what I mean. Like he is going to get fucking sacked. He's losing 2-1 at home.
yeah.
So
What
like,
does that do to their group? Arsenal are still top, but
oh, that's a good point. Are they gonna get kicked? Oh, please tell me they're gonna get kicked out. No, they won't.
they
They
won't.
can't. They physically
Well,
can't. Unless they.
who do they have next? Because if they have whoever
It doesn't
stand
matter because Standard have a
standard a
minus
draw,
two.
so
I know, but
if
they
they
have if they win this actually, yeah, and then they
if
win their
standard
next
get a
game.
winner, then it becomes interesting. Well, I don't know who their last Arsenal's last fixture is against actually.
I can check faster than you can. Do.
Arsenal's last game is
Standard.
against Standard. Ah!
Fucking yes. Get it
So
out,
that
yeah.
would be huge actually.
Yeah.
That would
So if
be huge.
Standard
If
win,
Standard get a win tonight, then that game will be huge.
so does that make Pookie a more tempting option if they lose tonight and he gets sacked?
No, I think he needs to go. I think if anything, it's one of those situations where they'll become more solid if they sack
Yeah,
him.
if Emery gets sacked, then the defense is actually better.
So hopefully he stays.
Auba is like herpes. I cannot seem to get rid of him one more game. uh,
So,
Unlike herpes, you can't just go to the doctors for Auba, unfortunately. But you can use a transfer.
yeah, just
Pookie
sell
is
him.
not tempting. Okay, cool. I just wanted to take 2 seconds out because he's pretty much the last person. Burnley's fixtures are too bad. I don't really want to talk about Woods or
Yeah,
Barnes. Uh,
yeah.
Watford are bottom of the league for good fucking reason. Brighton have really, really bad fixtures. Aston Villa doesn't
Yeah,
really have any strikers that I would want. It's really
no,
McGinn or Grealish. Bournemouth, we're not going to go there. Everton, oh my
definitely not.
fucking god. West Ham, Alaire's, everyone's fucking was
Do you
going
remember
nuts.
when we
I
were
had
bought?
him. I mean, I brought him in.
I didn't. I was like, oh, I'm gonna lose so much rank if I don't own Haller.
Do you want to hear
How did
something disgusting? I,
so
I
I bought Pookie instead, and how did that turn out?
well, listen to this shit. I said on stream and in Twitter, Alaire or Abraham, and Alaire won, and I brought him in, and Abraham went on to score 2 goals. Alaire got one. And the next game, Abraham had 2 goals, and
Abraham's
Alaire
got a
got
hat trick against Wolves.
and I missed it. I mean, I would have just, and if that poll had been different, but oh well. My mate texted me saying, if you can't decide, get the player who has the best team behind him. And I was like, well, West Ham are fucking banging the now. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, so that helps. And then I did it, and he was like, no, I meant Chelsea, you fucking idiot. So yeah, that's where we are. So yeah, we don't have to talk about any of the, oh yeah, Newcastle, but fuck that. I don't even know who plays striker for them, let alone fucking want to talk about it.
Their front three has scored one goal all season.
Yeah, I'd bring in a defender first. So let's go on. So we've talked about kind of similar prices, and we've talked about. Oh, thanks very much for the follow, Elite FPL. Oh my goodness, thanks very
God,
much, buddy.
they are they are live at the moment.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're live and they're watching
And they-
me. That's fucking mental. Go and stop doing that because that's freaking me out. How can you watch a stream and be live? I can't even fucking be live and be live. I'm so
I know.
shit at this. Thanks very much for the follow. I appreciate it. So yeah, let's go to like high end. So like now we're upgrading. So anyone who has a little bit of money, I've got a few people who've been messaging me. I'm sure loads of people have been asking you about Kane, about Laka, about Jesus. Like let's go up there. So let's start at the best fixtures that we can for the next 4, and that would be Arsenal. So
God.
we have to talk about Arsenal, right? But let's do it if Emery is sacked in the morning and if he's not. So let's start with the fun stuff. Emery's being sacked. If he is sacked in the morning, how tempting is Lacazette? Because he has been.
I think he is
Go
if
for it.
Emery gets sacked, but then the team around him's not good enough, and you then don't know what will happen with Aubameyang,
Right.
and the new manager may as well want to play Aubameyang through the middle.
Okay.
So I think there are better options than Lacazette at the moment.
Okay, because a lot of people have been seriously considering that. So why do you think that they've been considering that then?
Because he's a reasonable price. He has good fixtures and he's scored goals, but he's the type of player that
Sold.
he can easily score twice in a game, and then the next one have three open goals and miss them all. So I just think that there are better options that will give you the same returns at a much cheaper price.
Right. Okay.
I just don't want to invest in that Arsenal team.
So in the last 4 games, he's had 2 assists and 2 goals.
Yeah.
Before that, he was injured, so he's came back in the team. He's played 390 minutes and 160, and he's had four of the 2 of his 4 goals and all of his assists in that period.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, Wolves, and Southampton at home. Leicester away, and Leicester away was the one he blanked. So he's been performing against the kind of lesser teams, which is probably why people have been actually, actively trying to shoehorn him into the team. The second thing is I think he's their best striker. I think he's their best player. Now I know I keep doing that. Aubameyang gets like goals, but he's just fast as fuck,
That's why he's not,
and that's why
their best striker. As their best player.
I think Lacazette is their best player.
Yeah.
I agree. And he looks so good and he works so fucking hard, and that's what my favorite thing about him. See, and if you watch a team and everyone is trying hard and someone stands out, you know they're fucking awesome, right? Yeah. But in Arsenal, they do they run a lot. It's not like Spurs where you could clearly see where they were kind of like pulling off of tackles and stuff, and like under Poch they just weren't pressing as much. And when Arsenal go down a goal against fucking, who was it? I forget who it was. And then Abraham, I keep doing that. Aubameyang gave the penalty to
Pepe.
tie the game up. Pepe. They try so fucking hard to get back in the game. So when Lacazette does well in those types of games, to then actually in a team full of working hard individuals, he totally stands out, which just shows how fucking hard he wants to win. And I really, really, really like that. So I am not tempted because I don't really want to get rid of Abraham. But if I was to actually go for someone on the Arsenal team, it would definitely be Lacazette. I wouldn't go anywhere near Aubameyang, especially if Emery's out.
Yeah, agreed. But I don't want to go anywhere near that Arsenal team.
Okay, so then if we move on to Emery it's the exact same thing. I think we're both agreed that let's just fucking keep watching the shit show with some popcorn and not have to worry about having him in. Colm says that Auba's like herpes. I feel like he's more like herpes you can kind of get rid of in a few weeks, but based on how Arsenal have been playing, it's like a plague. You have a terminal illness and you can't get rid of it. And if you get rid of Auba, you'll feel like God has just been bam, new life. You can absolutely continue on, because right now you're fucking dying, mate. Aubameyang, the thing that was good about Aubameyang is that he would pull a goal out of his fucking arse, and when he doesn't do that, when he can't be a fucking magician all the time, then it turns into we're just shit. We're just a shit team. He's looked good in a bag of shite, and now he just looks like a bag of shite. So yeah, we're not fans. Let's move on. So Arsenal, then Man City has the next best fixtures of the big teams that we can look into. So let's talk about Jesus. What is your thoughts on, first of all, Jesus playing, how long he's going to be playing, and then people are going to want to know what you think about him and Sterling, and then I'll do my rant.
I personally prefer to start with Sterling when he's playing with Jesus.
Okay.
Because I think more of the responsibility starts to fall on Sterling, because Aguero, we know we can do it on his own, but when that isn't the case, Jesus isn't going to change a game on his own, and so they look for Sterling for that. So I actually like Sterling more as an option.
Pause the game. Sevilla just scored, mate.
I know. I put that.
Yeah. Oh, you did? Oh, fuck me. Yes, mate. Well done. Fucking 40 quid. What are you buying this stream? Look, everyone who's here gets £1 at least. Put your PIN numbers and your credit card information in the chat, guys, and we'll get back to you. Oh, well done. That's what a fucking belter of a thing. Do you do this often?
I have done recently.
Wow. And where do you get your tips from somewhere, or what do you do?
I do it myself. So
You
in
do
the
it yourself.
past,
Tips gets
so
his tips from
I,
tips.
yeah, well, exactly. Um, I re-downloaded my betting app at sort of halfway through November, and if on my app it has this like profit loss thing, which tells you
Uh-huh.
how much money you've made, and in that I'm like £250 up. So
Wow, well done. That's great. I'm so impressed. I can't bet for my life. I remember I was doing so well in
I normally
FPL.
can't. That's why I deleted it in the first place.
Elite FPL, cheers for the raid, man. I appreciate that. We can't talk about your betting anymore because we've got too many people here now.
Yeah.
We gotta
That's
fucking move on. That's so good. Thanks very much. Welcome everyone. Oh wow, now it's gonna happen. There's gonna be loads of followers. Welcome to the fucking big sexy club, Dennis. I appreciate that. And Tobless and Dark Gem and oh, it's happening. They're doing it. We're just gonna have
James Bang. Let's just all of them.
to mechanics. Tobias, James Bang. Oh, we've done that one. Tobias, I just did that one. Mechanic. Gonna stop. I can't. Chelsea Flyer. How's everyone doing?
Ollie at the wheel.
How is
Chelsea
Elite
Fire.
Hi, Dave. We are from Elite FPL. Thanks, James Bang. I appreciate it. Tobias
Cheers,
says is a
guys.
raid. We're gonna be. Should I mute it? I might just well. That's why I mute it. We're not gonna go. We're not gonna be able to talk about FPL at all because I'm just gonna hear Messi to the near post for the next 10 minutes.
Daily Love, welcome. Right.
Yeah, so that's a good point. If everyone's here, I am gonna be at the Christmas thing on the 13th of December. Are you gonna be there as well, Tips?
Yeah, I will be there.
We're both gonna be there.
Dave.
Awesome. You can meet me and we can have an actual bourbon in person, Tips. How do you think
Yeah.
of that?
Oh, wait.
Oh, who else is coming? Is anyone else on the chat coming to the thing? The 13th of December. It's the Who Got the Assist thing. I even signed up to the Secret Santa because Holly's
Yeah.
doing it and I wanted to
Isn't
do
that
it.
coming out tomorrow?
Yeah, I want to know. I hope I get you. I'm gonna get you a big fuck off cucumber, mate. I do that every year. Every Secret Santa, in work, I'll like wrap a cucumber and then I'll put it in the thing, and people are like, someone's got someone a dildo, someone's done it, and it's always the cucumber. And one year I'm gonna get a dildo, and they're gonna be like, oh, I wish I had a cucumber. But there you go.
Should we talk FPL or these guys are going to think?
No, fuck that. We're not talking about FPL. I don't do anything for nobody. All right. Okay. Fine. Right. Okay. So we're talking about. I'm muting it. Fuck this. I can't be fucked with this. It's happening in my head all the time. I appreciate all the follows, guys. I love you all. Hi, everyone. Warnock, McReds, Dre Zera, Infamous FPL, Moonwalker, Amanda Hillen. This is getting tedious. I'm just gonna. Right. Okay. Hold on. I've got this, Tips. Right. You take the wheel for a second. I'm kidding. Have you seen that? Deadmau5 does a thing called Coffee Run where he drives like really famous people to like Tim Hortons that's like an hour away, and then he comes back, and at the point where he's about to pay for the coffee, he goes, "Oh shit, have you got money?" And then he looks at the camera and winks, and then he keeps looking for he does it every single time just to see famous people going, "Oh yeah, shit, no, I've got," like, and they start like thinking. It's really 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 good. I fucking recommend watching Deadmau5 drive like Hodor from Game of Thrones about and stuff. It's really really good. Thank you everyone for following. Right, awesome, we've sorted it. Hello. Right, so let's talk about FPL. Fucking hell. We're going to go to the fixture tracker just now, like we have been, and we're talking about striker upgrades from Abraham. So Abraham is potentially out. We don't think he's going to be out for very long, but we might as well just talk about who we would upgrade to if we absolutely had to. So we're going to go look at the next 4 game weeks, I think, actually.
Yeah.
And who are we on? We're on Jesus, actually, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think? You said that you would actually prefer him over or Sterling over.
Sterling becomes more appealing to me
Yes.
when Jesus is in the side.
Which, when you said that, I didn't agree until you said what you said, which was a really, really good point that a lot of people are missing out on, which is
because Jesus can't change a game on his own, so it means the reliability, the reliance on Sterling goes up, and it means that he has to become so much an integral part of that team, and he has to then come central more to try and get in amongst the goals.
Yeah, no, I love that because he's gonna take it on his shoulders. He's gonna be like, holy shit, no Aguero, I need to
Yeah,
do something and quick.
yeah.
I had a look at that. Geez, you know how I forget who it was that tweeted it saying like he plays better with Jesus. And I really didn't agree at all. I was like, look, the stat, unless Jesus is doing something that Aguero isn't, I don't agree with it. And I had a wee look back. I've only done the first game when he got the hat trick. So first of all, Jesus or Jesus, however you pronounce his name, was only on the pitch for one of his goals. So he got subbed off, and then Sterling scored his goal in the 75th minute or something, and then the 91st minute. So he was only in the team for one goal, and I watched that goal today actually, and it was just a counter attack, and Kevin De Bruyne passed up the left hand side channel, and then Sterling scored, and Jesus didn't do anything. So right away, that takes 3 goals out of that equation for it. But despite all of that, I really, really like that sentiment of like Aguero is going to have to try, or sorry, Aguero's out, so Sterling's going to have to try really, really hard. But let's go back into the striker thing. If Abraham was out and I gave you 2 million, would you get Jesus? Would you get Jesus, however you say his name, guys? I don't know how to say his name.
No, because I don't like the way that City look at the moment.
Oh, really? So because
I
City
think I
are
think
out of form.
City look poor compared to what we're used to. I think they look really underwhelming. So I don't expect this form to change anytime soon.
Okay.
I'd,
So
I'd rather Danny Ings.
so you'd rather Danny Ings over a confirmed striker for City? That's
But
huge.
yeah, and then I mean, of course, you can then spend your money elsewhere. So you've got an extra 4 million that you could spend on someone else. But I think I'd pick Ings before I picked Jesus.
The Storm Legacy says Jesus is the workhorse of the side, a less successful version of Firmino. Thank you very much. So, what do you think of that? Do you think that Jesus is going to bring kind of an energy that Aguero wasn't?
Yeah, could quite possibly happen. The only issue is Pep did say in his press conference that Sterling could play through the middle.
Yeah. I had someone check that out. One time he did that last year when Aguero was out. One time.
Mm,
So it might have a little thing, but it's very, very unlikely. But
yeah,
I really like that that there's a bit of like, oh, should we keep Sterling? Because I fucked him out of my team like so
yeah,
hard this
I
week.
sold them as well.
So I quite like the fact that like people might keep him because I think obviously I did it, so I think that the best option is to get rid of him. But yeah, no, we're discussing it. And everyone's kind of on one side or the other, but we don't really know what's going to happen until the game's played, obviously. But we do know is that Man City play Newcastle and Burnley both away. Both away means that Sterling is going to play better, statistically plays better
Yeah.
away this season. We don't have enough data on Jesus, but for 2 game weeks, I'm gonna try and find where are they? Where's Spurs? Okay, so Spurs have Bournemouth, then they have Man United, then they have Burnley, and then Wolves. So would you do that kind of hokey pokey and get in Jesus and then get Kane?
Those, I think people are, again, when they see those Spurs fixtures, seeing the green colour and thinking they're better than they are.
Mm-hmm.
United leak goals, yes, but they don't leak loads. They're the type of team that will concede. Okay, they conceded 3 to Sheffield United, but they they can be quite defensively solid, especially in the big games, because they tend to play that 3 at the back, which is more defensively solid for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have Burnley at home, who look much better, and Wolves, who are not a bad defensive side. I think Spurs, there's room for goals in them, but I don't think it's necessarily as clear cut as people think.
Right. Okay.
But again, I wouldn't do Jesus and Kane. I think they're midfield counterparts. I'd rather Son than Kane.
Give me 2 seconds. I just need to time out this guy. Keep going. Keep talking. So Kane, obviously the bounce is happening. What do you think? Who? Oh, by the way, someone asked in the thing. Mick Sveden says tips best Chelsea midfield.
Yeah, so I did reply to him. I said Pulisic, definitely the one that I'd be transferring in, but Willian does make a nice differential.
Excellent.
Excellent.
I usually have a guy to do this. I usually have a mod because I can't do it at all. I'm so bad at it. I'm so bad at modding. It's yeah, it's unbelievable. FPL Warnock, can you shut the fuck up, mate? I can't fucking time you out. I'm gonna have to go and stop the stream and thing it out and figure out how Twitch works on my own.
Do you
doing
not?
my head in. 60. I don't even know what that means. The
That's
user you're trying to type out doesn't exist. Oh no. I'm fucking can't even type out my own shit.
God.
Oh. Right, hold on, we're doing it. I'm doing it. Work, I swear to God, you're getting timed out. As soon as I feel like a fucking old grandpa. I'm trying to figure out Twitch. I just can't do two things at once. I'm trying to listen to you and I'm trying to type at the same time. Best captaincy choice for this week. What do you think?
Sorry?
What do you think the best captaincy option is for this week?
Vardy and Mane. And I imagine you own at least one of the two of them. So
Excellent. Oh, I can't fucking time him out. Oh well, just shut up, mate. I'm gonna give Daft's fucking modding rights. No, I'm gonna do it. Daft's mod.
you can give me modern rights, and then I'll ban him.
Okay, cool. Tips. How do I mod people? I need to fucking learn this shit. Because the first time I needed to do that, I got like 50 people, right, in the thing. And then I was like, oh, fuck, I don't really know how to do it. And then someone was like, just mod me. And I was like, cool, I can do that. Absolutely no bother. And then since then, he's been in the chat every single time. So it's been absolutely fine. Yay, you're a modder. Oh, I figured it out. I wasn't putting an at beside his name. Oh, shit. Okay, you do it. Wow, we lost like 40 people from me trying to figure out how to fucking ban someone. I love it. Yes, you've got a sword beside your name. That's awesome. Who else wants to be a mod? Does anyone else want to be a mod? That sword is cool as fuck.
There we go.
Yay. Shut up, idiot.
There's going to be no one left when I'm done with them.
Everyone's like, me. I'm not giving everyone mods. I'm not a fucking idiot.
Just becomes war.
Well, imagine mods like attacking other mods. That'd be great. Can you time out a mod if you're a mod? Does anyone know that? What happens when a black hole hits another black hole?
They're always me.
I'm not doing it. It's not happening. So anyway, Jesus, I think, like you said, is gonna bring a little bit of fire, but I don't think he's a good option. And if you're going to get Jesus, you might as well just keep Abraham because you're losing a lot of money for another risk. You might as well bring in someone who's, pedigree. Like I would prefer Lacazette actually over Jesus. And but obviously caveated with, I think Emery's going to get fired before like 8:00 tomorrow morning. Like the letter has been sent already. They seen the second goal in and they were like, yeah, fucking mail it. So who's next then? So we've talked about City. Let's just go through Spurs then. I know we talked about it a little bit, but I wasn't listening to you. So please continue. Kane, manager bounce. He's the typical Mourinho striker. He's a target man. It's perfect to almost every system that Mourinho's ever tried to implement, especially during his really, really good seasons with Porto, and his first and second spell at Chelsea, I would say. So what do we think specifically?
I think we will start to see goals come back for Kane and him return to being an FPL option. I personally prefer Son because of his price and just the way he plays. And just you can't dislike Son because
he's just the nicest guy. Every time he cries, I'm like, oh man, I just want to hold you. I just want to hold you really tight. Kane has scored 3 goals in 2 games under Mourinho. They've scored 7 goals in 2 games altogether. They have conceded 4, I think. But we're not really worried about that. We're not going to be bringing in Aurier anytime soon, especially now that we've got potential Abraham fire. So you prefer Son. What are you thinking about Lucas Moura? Because obviously he's a close price to Abraham. So if other people are going to be kind of, right, I'll downgrade Abraham and I'll upgrade one of my benched midfielders, they might be able to do Lucas Moura.
Yeah, so in my sort of Spurs thread, I had Ali, Son, and Lucas are all good options. Lucas definitely is the lowest risk because of his price. And actually, if I was probably going to get one, it might end up being Lucas just because it's low risk. And it's the player that I could bring in. So I could do Mount to Lucas.
Right, okay.
Because we just don't know how. I mean, they've played twice. We just don't know how they're suddenly going to perform. Especially they've got Bournemouth at home this weekend, which is a fixture they could easily win. and then I think we might see a lot of players start jumping on them,
Hmm.
but then their fixtures after that are actually can be quite tough. They've played West Ham and Olympiacos so far. I just think we need to not get ahead of ourselves.
And who was it on Planet Pod? I always mix their names up, but he was like, yeah, like he's probably the biggest Tottenham fan I've ever seen before. Is
Yeah,
it
Jay.
James? James,
Yeah,
yeah. And he was like, yeah, no, I'm not bringing them in. And if see if someone like that is that close to the team, like yourself, like if you told me like absolutely not bats, I'm like cool, and I've kind of thrown them out as a thing because I would
yeah,
trust you guys over the general public when it comes to like not liking a player.
yeah.
Whereas if you said like, yeah, absolutely bring Giroud in, I'd be like, you're a Chelsea fan, you know. So when James is like, I'm not doing it, that gives it extra credit, you know.
The ownership's low enough that if they do start scoring, it's not going to hurt your rank.
Yeah. What is Kane just
Just
now? By the way, I'm gonna check.
it'll be higher than it is really because there'll be a lot of dead teams with them in.
That's true. 17.5. Okay, so Son was red carded the last year, so that means he didn't play the first two. Without looking, guys, what do you think Son's fucking ownership is? But without looking, type in the chat. I'm gonna look it up. What do you think, Tips?
19%.
Did you look at it really recently? Or
No,
is that a proper
I
guess?
feel like it's like just it's sure it's the high teens.
12 or 13 says Moonwalker. Come on, guys, don't look. If you look, then you're an arsehole. And you'll know for the rest of the night that I've called you an arsehole, and you are one. Let
Well,
me get it.
can
12,
I use
20,
my I
14.
can use my modding powers to ban anyone who gets it right.
No, no, don't. Mate, I gave you it for one reason, right? If Warnock shows up again, right, you can totally do whatever you want. I apologize, Warnock. I know people are very, very passionate about whoever the fuck you were to Swansea or whatever, right? But just calm the fuck down. 15, 12.3, 17, 19. I looked 30 minutes ago, said Daffs. That's very honest of you. Infamous 1610. Right, Son is
12.3.
12%, 0.3, 12%. So read them and weep. Moonwalker got it right. Tobias got it right. A lot of people were really lucky, not lucky, really close. But the point I'm trying to make is that yeah, like what you just said, everyone kind of thinks that you know he's they're just gonna lose points, but Son is definitely still a differential. But I wouldn't say not to bring him in at all. And actually, yeah, I think you're right. He's probably a really, really good option if you're going to go that way. You probably would rather downgrade Abraham and upgrade someone else
Yeah.
than upgrade to Kane. However, I do think that Kane is going to benefit the most from Mourinho. So we'll
Yeah.
have to wait and see. I would love Kane right now. If I could do it right now, I don't really know what I would do. Upgrade to Kane. I don't really have enough money. And I think this is what the problem a lot of people are going to coming to. It's like,
Downgrade Firmino to Danny Ings.
oh, I actually like that. Goni, stop talking for a second for let me, cause you're talking sense and you're gonna cost me a lot of fucking hits. What do we think of that team? Vardy, Ings, and Kane. That's the weirdest forward three you'll ever see. What can I spell?
Vic.
Vic. The Queen Vic. I like it.
All right.
No, I don't like it. Right, keep going. So Spurs we've talked about. Is there anyone else? We've kind of mentioned everyone. We've been going
Yeah,
for a while, buddy.
I think that's it for strikers now.
Yeah, and it's coming on 10 o'clock. I don't want to keep you for too much longer. Oh yeah, Manchester United, Rashford. Let's just one last one. Let's get Rashford in there. What do you think of Rashford?
Marcus Trashford.
Oh, you heard it here, folks. First,
Oh dear. There's
he
gonna be a lot of
hates Manchester United. Get him, get him. I'm unmodding him. Hold on. No.
well, he's on hot form. He seems to be their most on form player. So he's not a bad option. I think a lot of people will be buying him, and I can see why. To be honest, I'd prefer Rashford over a lot of those other premium forwards.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. So you are absolutely against upgrading. So you'd rather have Rashford than getting them. But if you had to go down, you would.
Yeah, I'd go down before I go up, but if I was going up, I'd go to Rashford before going anyone else.
Yeah. Tom said that he's either 0 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. I totally agree. Although since watching Magnus Carlsen's thing, looking at it, like it's fucked with my brain because I'm like, why was he tinkering with him in and out so many times? Like I really want to know. It's kind of stuck in my brain.
Apparently, It's all kicking off at Arsenal again in the boardroom after Arsenal lost tonight. So we'll see what happens there. But
Yeah, 8
yeah,
o'clock. What are you? What? Let's guess. So the second thing in the chat. See, before we kind of kick off with the final part of the stream, when do we think Emery's going to get sacked? If it's tomorrow, I want to know a time, and if it's not tomorrow, then give me a day. So we're right now. It's Thursday. When do Arsenal play? Is it Saturday?
yeah, I think so.
So Saturday's when they play next. So if they are going to sack him, it's going to be tomorrow, or it's going to be after Saturday. Surely they're not going to sack him like the day of the game.
No, it is Sunday.
Oh, it's Sunday. So we've got Saturday as well in 7 minutes time. 12
New way.
o'clock tomorrow. So today, that's iffy. Monday, 8 a.m. I totally disagree. That's way too late. After they lose to Norwich. Imagine they lost to Norwich.
If he loses
Oh,
to Norwich,
man.
that's it.
That's him out. Oh, do you think he'll take Xhaka with him?
Maybe. I doubt it.
Right. Okay. Last but not least, to finish the stream, I was gonna do some rate my teams, right? But
Yep.
we've kind of ran out of time. So anyone who tweets me their team or has done, I will totally take because I'm just gonna skive from work all day tomorrow. I'm in and I can't be arsed doing any work, so I'm just gonna skive. I'm gonna totally answer all your questions, anyone, or you can go to Tips because he actually does answer every single question
Yeah.
he gets, and not
As
just when I
always,
tell. Yeah. So
any
Tips.
question you sent me between the game week deadline now and the game week deadline, I will answer. So any questions, literally anything, go and tweet me now.
But for the end of this stream, for the next 5 minutes, we're going to answer any question we see in the chat. And it doesn't have to be FPL related, although I will probably tell you guys not to go into politics too much because that's it's always a bad idea. But
Answer
let's
the question
start
in the
first.
chat.
I
Do you
know.
think you should bench boost next week? Everyone has green fixtures. No.
All
Double
right.
game weeks.
Pulisic over Mount.
Yeah, Pulisic.
Pulisic. Would you, if you had two Chelsea midfielders, who would you pick?
Pulisic and Willian.
I fucking knew it. I'm totally doing that, man. Did you see my shit? I was gonna
But
do
Willian's been
Cresswell.
really poor.
Has he, like, eye test
Yeah.
wise? Right. Okay.
Yeah, he's not been good. And Mount can play on the wing. So I don't know. I don't know
Oh,
what's going to happen with our midfield. Pulisic is going to start, but I don't know the rest of it.
I like that's a good answer. Right, Jack A. Goodwin. By the way,
Yep.
new fave of the pod. He's been here for the whole time. Create a new chip. What would it be? I love that question too. Jack, fucking awesome.
You can buy a player who's out of your price range and have him in your team for a week, but then the next week you have to sell someone to get in that funds.
Oh shit! So you either take him out or you fucking. So
You
it's
have
like
to-
that thing in League of Legends where you can go below your shit.
Yeah.
And they also have that in Champions League, do they not? Where you can just like totally buy as much as you want. I like that. Dave, what's your favorite brand of bourbon? Mine is Macallan. All right, two things. Macallan is whiskey. It's not really bourbon. It's yeah, Macallan. But that's fine. I really like Macallan as well. The second thing is probably Bullet. There's actually a bourbon called Old Grandad, and it's really, really, really vanilla-y. Questions quickfire, yeah. Just like in the pod, we fucking quickfire the longest. Go up to double Liverpool fullbacks until blanks or not.
No.
No, awesome. Pulisic for Mount for a -4.
No.
A lot of people are gonna be thinking about doing that.
No. Mount should play this weekend.
I think so too. I think that's a good shout. Zaha after Burnley. Zaha now, mate.
Zaha never.
No,
Crystal Palace
I
cannot
disagree.
attack.
I think they're just going to be doing. I think they're going to be like turning around because they've been kind of fucking about all season. I think he's just going to go all attack, and I think Zaha's going to kick on. I will say this: that Zaha is best time ever to own him in this whole season is going to be the next 10 game weeks. He has the best fixtures over the next 10 game weeks. I said all this in fucking Fantasy Weekly, but yeah, no, it's the best time ever. You will not get a better time to own Zaha. So if you've wanted to for whatever reason for the whole season, you just haven't done it. Like, now is the time.
Don't do it.
I love that. You're like a little angel on my shoulder, like, don't do it, don't do it. And then there's the bourbon guy over here being like, fucking drink. Best whiskey, Ardbeg, hands down. Not a question. Fair enough. They'll attack eventually. Should I captain Salah if I have Mane too? You were saying no.
No,
on.
I'd still go Mane.
But if you only had Salah, then
Well, then
you're
Then
happy
you
to
probably
do
have
that.
Vardy, and then I'd go Vardy.
Right, okay. Did I miss any questions? Martial or Rashford can only
Yeah,
have one.
Rashford.
Rashford. I actually agree. I think he's going to be a better player, although I think value-wise, I
I've got
think Martial
Martial,
will be
and
better.
he's in my team short term, but I got so annoyed with him at the weekend when they scored 3 goals and he didn't do anything.
Captain Alba, if owned for this weekend,
Who have they got? Norwich. Oh gosh, Norwich away.
that's
No,
hard not to. You've kept him for that fixture, probably,
no.
specifically. You wouldn't.
You should have, if you have Vardy and Mane, do not stray from Vardy or Mane.
Right, okay. Awesome. The
Sim-
Storm Legacy, Ings versus Musa.
Ings versus Ings.
Ings. I
King
think I'm
Ings.
gonna say Musa actually, because I think I would
Wait,
I would bring in the player because you've just said Crystal Palace or not Ings. I was thinking IU. Ings or Musa. Sorry. Let me redo it. A million less for a more informed player.
Ings. If you ever have me back on and Ings has scored 12 goals in 5 games, then we'll remember this.
Okay.
Ings.
Right. I'll fuck it. I'll say Ings as well. We can go down.
Ings.
We'll be those guys at the violin in the end of Titanic. Um, same food every day. Never have the same food again for the rest of your life. Pick one. I would
Never
have the
have the
same food
same.
every day.
But there
Yeah.
aren't enough types of food to not have the same. But
What? Fuck off. You could have beans one day and then like Heinz beans the next day and then like Tesco beans the other day. Or
oh,
are we
does
going
that count?
specific? I don't. Maybe not. Okay. Well,
Because
beans.
otherwise you're
You
going
could
to run
have
out.
Brazil nuts and then you could have like normal nuts and then you could have like raisins and I feel like there's loads of things. You
Raisins
would.
is a
You would. It'd be
meal.
3 years before you get to the end of the fruit. There's like fucking vomit fruit and
I'm not
stuff. You know.
eating. I'm not eating raisins as my lunch.
Aye, that sounds shit, doesn't it? I actually mostly eat the same thing every day
I
anyway.
might go same food every day.
Let's troll Dave Firmino brace incoming. No, I absolutely think Zaha's trying to get sold so he play better over Christmas. That might be true. FPL James Bang says, "Who do you support?" And you already answered that. Chelsea. I don't support anyone in the Premier League. I started playing FPL like a couple of years ago, and then seriously last year. And I've never watched the Premier League before that. And I got a top 5k finish, so you don't fucking have to. I support Celtic though. Who's going to be the biggest incoming transfer to the league in January? Ibrahimovic for Spurs. Did you hear that rumor? My good mate, who's a Spurs fan, texted me that saying I fucking heard that on in the waves, and I was like, oh my god, imagine that happened.
Yeah. Someone to Man U, probably some midfielder, some Bruno Fernandes to Man U.
Nice, I like that. Would you consider it cheating to have sex with a robot? Yes, I think so.
Yes.
That's just like that's not just a wank, mate. That's you're bringing objects. Although, is a dildo a robot if it has batteries?
Right. What's the next question?
Cool. Sorry, I've got 3.7 million in the bank. I need Abraham replacements. Considering Lacazette or Jesus, thoughts? I have Son already and Manny and Vardy. I feel like Ted M Wang that you haven't been here for very long.
Ings.
Ings, right? 3.7 in the bank. I'm gonna say Kane.
Get Ings. 5 million in the bank.
Even if you had 5 million in the bank. Right. Hold on. Right.
Just a little story. So you might have seen. So my girlfriend plays FPL this season for the first year.
Mm-hmm.
She spends 10 minutes on her team every week.
Okay.
Doesn't watch football. Doesn't like football, and is at 10k overall rank. And I'm at 500k and spend half my waking hours playing this game. How is that fair?
I don't know. Let's end it on that. How is it fair? The never-ending question. Thank you,
Never.
Tips, so much for coming on. This has actually been such a blast. This is going to be on YouTube and stuff. I hope you don't mind. This is live and will live on forever. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I appreciate the raid and appreciate everyone. I appreciate Warnock for fucking pausing the stream where I've learned how to be a mod and then end up fucking giving it to Tips anyway. I'm kicking you out of mod, by the way, eventually. My mod will come back and it'll be fine. But thank you very much for coming on. Go follow Tips. Follow me if you're here new. You can subscribe and all that shit. And we'll see you next Monday.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Bye, 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 bye. And we are done.